I'm not one to say I told you so, but toot toot. Motherfuckers, toot toot, okay? Because I told you so. What is up, my brethren? This is Heckle TV. I am Jarvis Black. Thank you for coming back.
Wow.
Oh, look, this first part is just for the 5 people who regularly watch my videos. And I just want to say I'm sorry that I haven't uploaded in the last couple of months. It's been extremely busy. I fought a Yeti. I boxed a bear in a celebrity... The bear was the celebrity, not me, boxing match. And of course I lost. It was devastating and I needed time to recover. So I'm sure you can see that there's a different background behind me. And that's because I moved again. And now I'm in an indeterminate warehouse in the middle of the desert. And that's where my captors are holding me right now. The ransom that they're asking for my freedom is 10 Kit Kats, 1 box of Juji fruits, and a large bag of black licorice from Costco. I mean, I don't know who even eats black licorice anymore, but you can see the sadistic people that I'm dealing with just based on their ransom demands.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
What we're really here today to talk about is that there's an update to the Natalia Barnett case. I guess I shouldn't really be calling it the Natalia Barnett case because it's really the Kristine and Michael Barnett case, because the state of Indiana tried to prosecute them for a number of charges for neglect because they adopted a girl from Ukraine who they thought was a child, and then some things started to happen and they claim that basically she was an adult pretending to be a child. They set her up with state care, put her in an apartment, and moved to Canada where their son was going to college. Like 6 years later or so, the state of Indiana was like, hey, that thing you did back then was a bad thing, and we want to charge you with it. Now, I've made a number of videos about this case, so I really don't want to get into all of the nitty-gritty details. Again, I have a playlist. I'll link the playlist in the description. You can check out videos that I've made where I go into excruciating detail and everything that's been talked about on both sides. What happened is some of the charges were dropped. Most of the charges were dropped, basically. And the state was like, no, we don't want that to happen. Well, they filed an appeal, and the appeal was dismissed. In my last video about this case, I went through the appeal in some pretty good detail and talked about the evidence that was presented by both sides, the state and the Barnetts. And as I said in the last video, the state really didn't have a case.
The state heavily went in on the credibility of Natalia's age. And I was really, really surprised by that. And in my opinion, I think that was a mistake. The reason that I think it's a mistake to continue to challenge her age in court is that it's already been done. It's already been challenged multiple times in the probate court, and it's been upheld.
I was like, I don't know if I'm not a lawyer. I was like, I don't know if there's something I'm missing here, but they didn't have a case to me. I really didn't know what they were basing their appeal on, because they didn't provide any real evidence justifying their position of why the charges should be reinstated. Nothing that they said really held any water. They said that the state wasn't a party to the litigation. Look, the appeals court said that they were. They said that the state, and they provided past precedent for why that was the case. Basically, the appeals court slammed the state's appeal in just about every possible way. I'm not one to say I told you so, but toot toot. Motherfuckers, toot toot, okay? Because I told you so. I'm not saying one way or another. I don't know whether or not Natalia was an adult at the time the Barnetts adopted her or not. What I do know is the state presented a horrible case. The charges were dismissed. They appealed it, and the appeal was fucking shot down. I'm sorry, either the state has just done a piss poor job of prosecuting this case, which is possible, or there just isn't the evidence to support it. There's all that we can do on, and that's what I've said from the beginning, is I just want to see the facts of this case to make a judgment. All of the recent filings where basically the Barnetts and the state have put forth everything that, that we can possibly see as the public. Some of the exhibits are classified, but everything that I can see, like, there's nothing to indicate that the state should have won that appeal. Now, they say they want to go to the Supreme Court, and they'll try to do that. They'll try to go to the state Supreme Court and see what happens. I think it's a waste of everybody's time at this point, because we've seen court after court after court after court uphold the ruling. And I think they need to let go of that and move on. If they wanted to actually prosecute the Barnetts, they needed, in my opinion, again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm just a moron with opinions, they needed to pursue the charges stemming from neglect of a dependent with disabilities. I've brought this up before, but I'm not saying that Natalia is disabled because she's a little person. According to the court documents and what's been filed, there is some issues with Natalia's bone growth formation and stuff like that that's causing her to have issues, where she was supposedly requiring surgeries that the Barnetts didn't get her, and those things that could have helped her growth and development. Like, I don't see why they can't pursue that, but they have the entire case that they've focused on so far is regarding her age and saying, well, no, she wasn't an adult this time, and the Barnetts shouldn't have changed her age. There's just nothing to back that up. Nothing. People keep talking about a DNA test of the mother. Oh, they have a DNA test of the mom. People keep bringing that up in the comment section. Like, where's it? Where's this DNA test? And if they're withholding evidence, again, then that just shows how inept they are. And that's a disservice to Natalia. And maybe Natalia should sue the state prosecutor. But again, I don't think that's the case. I think if they had the evidence, they would present it. That's the situation as it stands right now. They want to pursue the Supreme Court. Now, whether the Supreme Court will actually accept the case, that remains to be seen. And whether they actually will file with the Supreme Court, that remains to be seen. They could very well do that. And that could very well change everything about the case. I just don't see how it could at this point. But again, I'm nobody. Just a guy with a microphone in front of a camera talking about my opinion based on what I've seen following this case, the last couple of years. That's where I'm going to end today's video. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I appreciate you watching. Share your opinions in the comments section. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you hate the way my face looks? I really do appreciate your comments, good and bad and everything in between. Thank you so much for watching. I love that you're here. And if you are one of the people here to the end, you are just that much more special to me. So just know that. Okay, bye. Yeah. This is the end of the video. Like and subscribe. Boopity boppity boop. Test, 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 test.